Firehaven is in a sort of weird middle ground in terms of islands, as the general consensus is that the song tends to be a mixed bag. Of course, here at Monstercast, we're going to come up to the simple conclusion if it's good or not, like always. Let's see if this island holds up. Like always, let's start with the stinkers. Tendidu has a really bad vocal performance. It doing the furcore motif isn't a bad idea, but it's just so awfully shrill. That and the fact that it's the only melody playing in the first half make it a double-edged sword, and it's an issue with the song as a whole. Potbelly in the first half is alright, but in the second half after the key change it ends up clashing terribly. It's especially exposed in the end with Cybop, and it's just not a good track because of it. Shrub has some questionable placements. The track itself is fine, but it cutting off halfway through the climax is really jarring. Reetling isn't really all that bad, the only thing that holds it back is the sour note, which isn't even that bad in the full song, but I'm bringing it up because it makes no sense whatsoever to make a purposeful sour note in a song that doesn't use dissonance at all. Reetling just baffles me, it's one of the weirdest decisions in the game. Rare Woolbox is very stiff and underwhelming. It doesn't pair well with Tweedle nor Candelabra, and just becomes filler background noise that doesn't add anything of value to the song. Dipsters are awful. The only way I can describe them is incomprehensible noise that clutters the song when they play. Nothing else to say about them. Goblet Gourd is not very fun to listen to, and it's even worse when it steals away the spotlight from Cybop. That and this awkward vocal performance leave it at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, so what is this island's biggest flaw? In Firehaven's case, it's going to be the first half of the song. In summary, it's boring. The biggest flaw is the vocal line, which is totally dominated by Danadu, making the other three feel like just background noise. I really do think that this is the main issue. The fact that Danadu is the only melody, as there's nothing else that the song chooses to put attention on, is just jarring. It's always and only Danadu, and that can get very old very quickly. As for the other three vocals, they're all very stiff in what they do, making the first half feel like it just drags on and on. As there's no flow, there's no movement, it's all just stiff, and that's really bad. That and it lasts for way too long for what it is, and it's just overall not very good. Now let's get into the good stuff. Stog and the Castaways have a fantastic duet, and both of them are really atmospheric, and are the main air fillers of the song. They really add a nice layer of atmosphere to the otherwise celebratory song and make it feel as you're inside of a volcano. Tweedle's best island by far. It fixes the problem the first set had by bringing that fluidity into the song when it plays. Its melody uses the furcore motif very cleverly, and it pairs with all the other monsters fantastically well. It also helps with the natural progression Firehaven has. Without Tweedle, the climax of the song would be a lot more jarring. Candelabra on this island is a massive improvement over Amber Island, who is an actual melody and interesting duets. It manages to be an excellent addition to the song. Glowl is beautiful on this island. The loud screaming growl would have not worked at all, but the softer soothing growl we got instead works perfectly alongside Flugel, Tweedle, and Candelabra. That and the melody itself just make this track. Cybop does a great job pairing with the other vocals in the climax, but an even better job at capping off the song at the end. His vocal performance is just perfect for it, easily Cybop's best island as well. Bazinga helps out the first half by adding some flavor and variety to an otherwise very lacking build-up. It's also something to focus on that isn't Danadu, so extra points there. Flugel is absolutely flawless. The melody is just simply perfect. It totally makes the ending verse it plays in. It's the main focus, yet it plays alongside the other monsters fantastically well. Without this one monster, the climax just doesn't even work at all. The whole reason for Firehaven even existing at all just isn't there without Flugel. And the best monster on the island is one I've been waiting to talk about for a long time. That monster is Reptillo. Straight up the definition of carry. Without Reptillo, Firehaven just isn't a song. It's the entire rhythmic interest of the first half, the main monster that gives the second half its natural build-up, and its track is so catchy without feeling repetitive, and doesn't overshadow any other percussionist, and even brings out other non-percussion monsters like Flower. It does everything a percussion monster could ever do, and because of that, it's easily one of the best percussion tracks in the whole game. Firehaven has some really interesting upsides and downsides, but which one will stand above the other? Yes, the upsides stand tall on this one. While this song has its problems, the second half of the song is just so expertly crafted, and really Goblet Gourd and Dipsters are the only things dragging it down. It just makes up for it by all the absolutely amazing stuff. So that's that. Do you agree or disagree? Did we just find some heat or are we ice cold? Let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.